are some objects you stop really seeing after a while. A hallway lamp, a bathroom mirror, the sound machine in the nursery, the baby monitor glowing quietly on the nightstand. At first, when you become a parent, every one of those things feels important. Sacred, almost. You check everything twice. You listen for every little sound. You wake up at nothing. But eventually, exhaustion does what exhaustion always does. Turns miracles into routine. It makes constant vigilance feel ordinary. A screen on a nightstand. A soft layer of static. A sleeping child in greenish night vision. Nothing more. That is why this story started so quietly. Not with a scream. Not with a crash. Just with a sound I almost ignored. A faint burst of static from the baby monitor beside my bed. Not loud enough to wake most people, but loud enough to drag me halfway out of sleep. I opened my eyes and looked at the clock.
3:12 am.
The room was dark. My wife was asleep beside me. The whole house had that heavy stillness it gets in the middle of the night, when every wall feels thicker, and every sound feels like it came from very far away. I looked at the monitor. My son was asleep in his crib, one arm over his head, blanket twisted near his legs. Nothing strange, nothing wrong. I remember staring at the screen for a second, waiting for him to move. He didn't. Then, on the monitor, the nursery door began to open. Slowly, just a few inches. I sat up immediately, not because I was terrified. Not yet. Mostly because I was confused. I turned and looked toward our bedroom door, toward the hallway outside. Everything was still.
No footsteps. No creaking floorboards.
No movement. Then I looked back at the monitor. The nursery door on the screen was wider now. A dark crack opening into the room. I got out of bed, crossed to the hall, and looked toward the nursery. The real door was still closed. Completely closed. That was the first moment I felt it. Not panic. Not full fear. Just that cold, silent shift inside the body when something stops making sense. I stood there for a few seconds trying to force a normal explanation onto it. A glitch. A delay. Some kind of weird signal overlap. Baby monitors do strange things sometimes. Everyone says that. You hear stories about interference, about picking up another house, about audio static, about weird screen tearing in the dark. So I told myself that was all it was. Some harmless technical mistake. Then I looked back down at the screen. And on the screen, something stepped into the nursery. Not fully. Not clearly. Just a shape. Tall. Thin. Too still. It did not move like a person entering a room. It moved like it had already been standing there, waiting just beyond the doorway for the exact right second to appear. I ran. I don't remember deciding to. I just ran down the hallway and into my son's room. And there was nothing there. No one. The nursery door was shut. The room was quiet. My son was still asleep. The air smelled like baby powder and the humidifier. Everything normal. Everything exactly as it should have been. That should have made me feel better. Didn't, because I was still holding the monitor in my hand. And on the screen, I could still see the room. Only now it was showing me standing beside the crib. My back to the camera. My son still asleep. And then, on the screen, I watched myself slowly turn my head toward the doorway. In real life, I hadn't moved yet. But the version of me on the monitor had. That is the moment I understood it. The screen was not glitching. It was not delayed. It was early. I turned toward the doorway exactly when I saw myself do it. And there was nothing there. But the timing was perfect. Perfect, sickening match. Like I was following instructions from a few seconds in the future. I picked up my son immediately. He stirred. Made that small unhappy sound babies make when they're woken too soon. Then settled against my shoulder. I carried him out of the nursery and back into my bedroom. I shut the door behind me, locked it. My wife woke up and asked what was wrong. I told her the monitor was acting weird. Even then, I didn't say what I actually meant, because I still had not found a way to say it out loud. How do you tell someone the screen beside your bed is showing you what hasn't happened yet? I handed her our son. Then I looked back down at the monitor. It was showing our bedroom now. Not from the angle of the nursery camera. From somewhere else. Higher. Wider. Like the point of view had shifted without explanation. In the green grain of night vision, I could see my wife sitting up in bed, our baby in her arms, and me standing near the door. Then the version of me on the screen tilted his head, as if hearing something in the hallway. In real life, I heard nothing, but I didn't move. I just watched. On the screen, my hand reached slowly for the bedroom doorknob. In real life, my hand stayed frozen at my side. I remember thinking, no, I'm not doing that. Not this time. Not because a screen told me to. But then there was a sound in the hallway. Not loud, just enough. A soft click, like pressure settling into old wood. And every hair on my arms lifted at once. My wife asked me what that was. I didn't answer. On the monitor, the version of me opened the bedroom door. Just a little. In real life, I backed away from it. I did the exact opposite. And for 1 second, I actually felt relief. Because I thought that proved it. I thought maybe the screen only showed possibilities. Maybe that future could be broken. Maybe all I had to do was refuse it. Then, on the monitor, the camera view jolted. Not violently, just enough to make my stomach drop. Because the version of me was no longer by the door. He was standing beside the bed. Exactly where I had moved. The monitor had corrected itself. Like it had never been wrong. Like it had simply updated to match the future I had just chosen instead. That was the second time I felt real fear. The first time was when I saw the figure. The second was when I realized the future wasn't fixed. It was adapting, and somehow that was worse, because it meant I couldn't outsmart it. I could only arrive there a different way. My wife kept asking what was happening. I finally told her to get up, to take the baby and go into the bathroom. Lock the door. Don't come out unless I tell you. She thought I was losing it. Honestly, maybe I was. But something in my face must have convinced her, because she took our son and did exactly what I said. I stayed in the bedroom alone, watching the monitor. The screen showed the hallway now. Long, dark, empty. First. Then, at the far end, something moved. Not into the frame. Within it. As if it had been standing there the whole time, perfectly still, blended into the dark so completely that only movement made it visible. Tall. Wrong. Too narrow in places where a body should have had shape. His head tilted slightly, the way people do when they're trying to understand something. Then it started walking. Not fast. That was the worst part. Not running. Not lunging. Just walking down the hallway with complete certainty. I stood there in the dark bedroom, staring at the screen, waiting to hear footsteps outside the real door. Nothing. On the monitor, it kept coming. One step, then another. Every movement smooth, patient, as if it knew I was watching, as if that was the point. And then I understood something I wish I hadn't. It wasn't showing me the future so I could stop it. It was showing me the future so I could watch it happen twice. Once on the screen, and once in real life. That is a different kind of fear. The kind that empties you out. Because warning only helps if it changes something. This wasn't a warning. It was rehearsal. I backed toward the bathroom door, meaning to join my wife and son and lock myself in with them. But the monitor image shifted again. Now it was showing the bathroom door. From outside. And on the screen, I watched a thin shadow slide slowly under it, like something was already standing in the hallway between me and them. I froze. Then I heard my son cry from the bathroom. Small, confused, alive. And the thing on the monitor stopped moving. His head turned toward the sound. That broke me. I shouted. Not words at first, just sound. Pure panic. And the figure on the screen turned back toward the bedroom. Toward me. That was the first time I understood I could still affect it. Maybe not stop it, but pull it, distract it, keep it interested. So I kept yelling, kept slamming my hand against the wall, kept making as much noise as I could. On the monitor, it changed direction. Slowly, deliberately, it began moving toward the bedroom door instead of the bathroom. My heart was pounding so hard it made my vision blur. I remember thinking, good. Not because anything was good, but because for one more second, for one more useless, impossible second, it was coming for me instead. I don't know how long that lasted. Time becomes worthless in moments like that. It stretches, folds, breaks. The monitor showed the figure reaching the bedroom door. A hand lifted, long fingers, too many joints. Then the screen filled with static. Bright, grainy, violent. I looked up from the monitor, and at that exact moment, someone knocked on the real bedroom door. 3 soft knocks. Not violent, not desperate, gentle, almost polite. Then a voice came through the wood. My wife's voice, calm, low. Open the door. Every part of me went cold, because my wife was in the bathroom, and because the monitor, still full of static in my hand, was beginning to clear. When the image came back, it was showing the inside of the bedroom. From somewhere near the ceiling, I saw myself standing there, pale, frozen, monitor in one hand, the door in front of me. Then, on the screen, the version of me started walking toward it.
I whispered no.
Out loud, like the version of me might hear it, like maybe this time I could stop it. But on the screen, I kept walking. And then in real life, without meaning to, I took one step forward. That's what finally made me understand the truth. I wasn't just watching the future. Something was teaching my body how to reach it. A little at a time. A gesture first. Then a turn of the head. Then a step. Like seeing it happen made it easier to obey when the moment arrived. The voice at the door came again. Still soft. Still wearing my wife's mouth. Open the door. Behind me, from inside the bathroom, I heard my real wife screaming my name. The screen showed my hand reaching for the lock. My real hand twitched. I dropped the monitor. It hit the floor face up. The image jolted but didn't go black. And for just 1 second, before the screen fractured into white noise, I saw the final frame. The nursery, empty crib, mobile turning slowly overhead, and someone standing beside the window holding my son. Not cradling him, not comforting him, just holding him, as if he had already been taken. Then the screen died. The house went silent.
No knocking.
No voice.
No static.
Nothing. I don't remember crossing the room. I don't remember unlocking the bathroom. I only remember my wife grabbing my arm so hard it hurt, and our son crying in the dark between us. He was still there. He was still warm. He was still ours. That should have ended the story. Didn't, because I threw that monitor away the next morning. Smashed it, bagged it, got it out of the house. We moved 3 weeks later. New home, new cameras, new locks, new routines. For a while, I told myself it had ended. Just one night, one impossible night. Something old in the wiring, something wrong in my head, some break in the world that had closed again before morning. But last month, my son woke me up after a nightmare. He's old enough to talk now, old enough to remember certain things. I asked him what he saw. He looked past me, toward the dark hallway outside his room, and said, "The tall man from the screen said you'd look away next time. That is why I'm writing this now. Not because I think telling it will help. Not because I think anyone can explain it. But because some things do not enter your house all at once. Some things arrive a few seconds early. And if you keep watching long enough, eventually they stop showing you the future and start waiting for you to catch up."